So we've all seen Jat's video on Los Ratones, right? If you haven't, be sure to go watch it because he does a good job of laying out the historical context of why this moment with Los Ratones is so important, so special, and what hopefully we can learn from it. Now, he gives you the perspective of somebody who has been around for the heyday of low esports when LCS was peaking at over 500,000 concurrent English speaking. The only time I've seen the LCS or LEC peak with that is whenever Spanish or French viewership is massively carrying that number. This is a first in my time of watching League of Legends, excluding international events, obviously. So when Jat asked the question of why does this feel so compelling and invites us for our essays, let me give you mine. The Los Ratones camaraderie is something that genuinely feels like family, if that makes sense. It's not something that I felt in years past. I mean, even if you look at G2, who is like the cream of the crop over in Europe right now, as Jat says in the video, it is a focus on international play. If you're not playing good, guess what? We know at some point you might get replaced. That time might last a little bit longer than most on the roster, but at the end of the day, you are chasing something that is way bigger than the domestic level. Whereas with Los Ratones, it is a family trying to do things at a much smaller scale. But that smaller scale feels so important to them that it genuinely makes you believe that it's the most important thing in the world. We miss that feeling a lot in low esports. It's been my biggest complaint. You've seen me rant. If you've been following my channel for a bit, you know how much I laid into Fudge, who going into Worlds 2022 on our home soil came out and said, yeah, C9's our only hope internationally. All right? Winning 3-0 on stage is great, but we're prepping for Worlds. The second I hear that, I immediately tune out, okay? I don't want to hear that. I want domestic titles to be valued. And for Los Ratones, I get that first stand could be there, but like, it is life or death just making playoffs, and those stakes are unparalleled. But on the family field, like, these are 5 guys that I genuinely feel like I could invite into my home right now, or they would invite me to theirs and we could just sit there, have a beer, and chill, which I get is also by proxy of them being a little bit older, whereas some of the younger players obviously can't even drink right now in the United States. But it just gives that vibe. They socially feel like they understand things a little bit better than most of the other players that are in esports right now, by nature of the fact that many of them did content. So they got experience with building their own communities separate from just trying to win a title, which is a very unique skill that modern players simply don't need to have, or at least they haven't up until this moment, when now we're worrying about viewership and those communities dying out, and now all of a sudden everybody feels pressured to do so, but nobody went through the organic steps themselves. I mean, think of what made Scump so popular from the beginning. It's like, it's just a dude that obviously is like wickedly talented, as almost all these guys are, but he's just sitting there playing MW3 in his bedroom with a baseball game on in the background. It's like, this is like, I'm watching somebody that I could genuinely see myself playing with as well, except obviously he's a level of skill so far above the rest of us. That relatability doesn't feel like it's there for any other team in low esports right now, especially in the West. But honestly, even more so than the players, because I'm not like as connected to the players as many other people are, I'm personally connected to Caedrel, because Caedrel is just the vessel and like the dream of the guy who, you know, even as a pro player, he might not have made it like as far as he would have wanted to in his professional career. You can just see that he genuinely cares about the game and about his team and about the people around him. He very much is the lead of the Fast and the Furious. Like, he is the one protecting the family. And you want to see people like that succeed. And it's wild. What makes it so compelling is that he's succeeding in a system that does not reward people like him doing that. I know many people that are passionate like that, and you just simply cannot do what old school League of Legends did with, as Jat points out, Reggie and Steve and many of these other owners that are in the space. Like, you don't get that anymore. It's not possible. Caedrel is the only one that's really kind of doing that from an English speaking audience perspective. Obviously Kameto and Abai and the others there, they went the regional route. They did a similar thing, but it's not English speaking. So we don't connect with it from an American point of view as much. But he's that bridge, okay? Obviously, we're not going to see what the players are doing or be in their head full times, but what you can do is live vicariously through that fan who you know shares the same passion as you and you get to watch him and just experience this whole thing with him, and then get to watch him go backstage and help run everything, and like just take that same mentality that we as fans have into the organization itself. It's just genuine, honest passion that you hear like on the broadcast. If I was to make this a relatable experience there, when Kobe loses his mind over NA doing something incredible on the international stage, there's a reason why we all look to him, because you can just tell in the voice that it's like, I'd hate to keep using the word genuine, but it's true. Like, it's just raw, it's authentic. Many people might have that emotion, but not many people are capable of displaying that from a content point of view or in front of a camera in a way that's also very entertaining as well, without being too over the top or without also being too reserved like many people get. So yeah, it is very remnant of like old school esports, and personally what I get to experience a lot in Call of Duty. But notably, Jat asked the question, how do we get this in the LCS? What is our LCS equivalent that could eventually get us up to that viewership? And the honest to God answer is, we don't have one, or at least I don't know that we have one. Whose unique story are we trying to follow in North America right now? Because to my understanding, barring a few of my friends who are not in the space, I don't know anybody whose story isn't already out there, or who is living a unique experience trying to climb the ladder of LoL esports, of trying to get their break inside of it, who's trying to get their team up over a hump or even join it. Like, I don't know anybody that's getting this opportunity. Like, you look at all the faces of NA right now, you have Dom and C9, who's probably like the most compelling story of it all. But who else is new to an org? Who else is providing something to just mix things up a bit and provide a compelling narrative outside of the players, because the players are just naturally going to be a part of this ecosystem? I don't know. I don't know anybody. And to me, when we talk about like wanting a Caedrel equivalent, you have to just open up the floodgates as much as you can. And I think that's on orgs in a franchise system. Like, I've harped on this before, but you need more content creators. You need people who can come in with a fresh perspective, a new set of eyes that can just live and have fans live alongside them as they continue their journey. But that person also needs to have some sort of goal or some sort of drive alongside of it. Like, there always has to be an endpoint in mind. Like, it sounds stupid, but like everything that Caedrel does might seem, you know, like, oh, like, wow, these things just happen. No, it's all calculated. He's making every move correctly. And I just don't know who we have right now. So from a North American perspective, it's like tier 2 is pretty much dead. So I don't know what to say or how we expand on that front. The content space is rough, but hey, we got some more creators upcoming. So that's like the one bright spot that I would say is I've seen more people like dip their fingers in content and dip like their toes in things. And hopefully like the modern content output is starting to rub off on some people. Jesus. But we're a long ways away. A very long ways away. And I don't think you can force it either. It just has to come natural. So we'll know it if we see the signs budding. But for now, I don't have an answer for what else we can do here in North America. You just got to get the right people that hopefully care enough about it. And that's just luck. Maybe Caedrel inspires that new wave of people that will come. So keep your eyes out, organizations and Riot, to make sure you are platforming those people that have that care. But the final thing I wanted to address on this, and it wasn't something that was mentioned in Jat's video, except for the very end of like, you know, what comes next? Like, Riot can't just give Los Ratones a spot in the LEC, to which I would raise the question, why? Why can't they? Okay, because what I don't like, what I hate hearing in this situation is like, oh, Abai, Kometo, the other owners come out and be like, hey, we had to pay. Okay, we had to work our way into this system that Riot set up. To which I would say, why would you want the people after you to suffer like you? It's just wild to me that those that climbed out of the hole and were able to break through would not also try and break through the floor that was blocking everybody else below them. That's the part that I don't understand. Like, if you're the first one in your family to go to college or to have a successful career, like, you want to try and bring your family up with you, even if they don't have the skills, the talent, and beyond. Like, you just want to take care of those that were with you when you came up and got out of that system, and then set it up so that your kids can have as much or more opportunities than what you had growing up, even if you had nothing to start. There's nothing stopping Riot from expanding the LEC right now. Okay, we have seen clearly that they can override owners like it's nothing. Like, owners have zero say in all this. There's zero, like, I'd love to see teams actually try to go to court over anything around the LEC and LCS right now, because all I've heard is empty threats on the internet and nothing tangibly actually done. Now, what are the drawbacks if Riot were to expand the LEC to, say, 2 promotion relegation spots and just give Los Ratones one of them, and they have to fight for it? Or, you know, you could even give out like a permanent partnership similar to what they've done with Sentinels, because clearly that's a thing that's already existing in the LCS, where Riot bought back a spot and then gave it out to a team. So there's nothing saying that you can't expand it from there. The driver is, well, teams would get a smaller cut of the global revenue pool, because that's where most teams get their money outside of individual sponsorships. Teams will make the argument of, oh, we don't want less money, we want more. To which I would say, okay, then pressure Riot and pressure the system that be to make sure they're giving you guys more avenues to make more money and contribute money to that global revenue pool. But if you think that everybody in the system is not benefited by Los Ratones being here, assuming they want to, maybe this truly is just like a once in a lifetime moment that many of us are going to get to experience, and we move on from this and just have to, you know, look back in 5 years being like, hey, remember when Los Ratones did that thing? I hope not. Like, even if they get into the LEC, say for some reason this miracle happens, I know Baus isn't going to play. Like, all of us know that the roster will ultimately change, but I think that's where Caedrel comes in and can be an effective org owner and just being the bridge of transition for many different people in the different eras of Los Ronus, while also keeping Baus on as a content creator, like an OG alum. Like, it's not like many of these legacy organizations haven't gone through roster changes and beyond, even like for faces that are staples of the brands. You can still power through that if you have the right people in place, the right content in mind, and are most importantly, replacing them with the right people that embody the spirit of Los Ratones and the brand identity that they have established so far. You can't just come in and be like, okay, Baus leaves, let's bring in import from Korea that's not going to do content or not be as like forward facing on content. Like, Caedrel can try and hype them up as much as he wants, but it's not the spirit of Los Ratones. So that's where I think the difference comes in. If you have to understand what you've built your brand on and continue to grow that. But anyways, there is nothing stopping Riot from putting them in the spring and summer split, if they truly want to, and emergency expanding the league to 12 teams. And I don't care how much teams revolt, I think it's worth doing, because the viewership drop off whenever Los Ratones does not play in spring, assuming that nothing changes right now, is going to be not only catastrophic, but going to start a spiral for the LEC that many people are going to look at and be like, yeah, you know, I'm good. I had my moment. I'm fine to dip. You want to capture that and hold on to it so long as Caedrel's allowing you to continue it because he wants to be a part of it, which I don't see a reason why he wouldn't want to. From everything that I've heard him say, it sounds like if the money wasn't a problem, like Los Ratones would be a brand in the LEC that they'd even fight through like promotion relegation, but they would still do it. So maybe my perception's wrong. Maybe I'm missing public statements. But I ain't going to sit here and act like, oh, you know, this is such a hard problem to solve. Riot set up the system. Riot could solve it. Like that. There's nothing stopping them other than their own mentality that, yeah, this metaphorical price tag has to be there for you to get in. You're the ones that set the price tag. You could also just circumvent that. And if it cost you a couple million to pay a fee to teams to, you know, keep them happy and shut them up, I'd honestly say that's probably worth it than the problems that will likely come if you don't here. You could sit here and say that K-Corp and MKOI fans will be great, but you need that English audience. I'm sorry, you do. And this is your way to not only guarantee it's there, but also possibly protect it and grow it for future generations. So I think it's worth doing. This whole conversation, this whole thing just makes me happy that I got to experience something that I honestly never thought that I would. Like, I thought just the stories of the heyday of LCS were just going to be, you know, folk tales that, you know, maybe one day we could eventually live up to, but it was always that carrot at the end of the stick that you were chasing forever and could never actually get to. And yet, here we are. The question is, how do we make it so that for the next 10 years, people don't have to have that same feeling that we've had for the last 11? We got to prevent that. If that means abolishing franchising, shit. I'm down. At this point, I do not care. As somebody that is also, during all of this, trying to figure out what team I want to support going into the future and forever, yeah, this has had me thinking a lot about my choices and where the right or wrong place would be. Because in my mind, like, there's no fully good answer at the moment. And I want to do whatever I can to give people even just the slightest feel of that dopamine hit that we all get watching Caedrel through watching whatever team I become a fan of. Don't know if that's actually going to translate or not, but for me at least, it's something I keep in the back of my mind.